Hello, everyone. My name is Erica. I'm a geospatial analyst at Enterprise Community Partners. I'm here to walk you through our Chicago Housing and Health Dashboard today. This video will show you some key sections and some really great features that you can utilize to get the most out of this tool. This dashboard includes measures of health, wellness, housing, and neighborhood conditions. This allows users to navigate data related to challenges that residents may face while obtaining healthy homes in healthy neighborhoods. This dashboard is organized in the following sections. We have housing and health, segregation and health, and my favorite, the community area profile. So let's get into it. The landing page takes you to a small intro, and I'm just gonna note way at the bottom here we have some contact information if you have any questions. As for the dashboard and the map, what you can do is just press this little arrow icon in the bottom left-hand corner, and it will take you outside of the web page to a much larger area, which is easier to see and navigate. I recommend you do that if you're going to be using this. So this video will provide you a brief overview of how to use this dashboard, and there will also be some additional instructions linked on the About This Dashboard page. The first tab the dashboard opens up to is the Housing and Health tab. This tab shows you data layers that show you the intersection of housing and health. But first, before we take a look at the data, I'm going to give you a brief overview of the general features and buttons in the dashboard. When you first open up the Map tab, you will see a map of all the Chicago community areas. You can zoom in and out of the map using your mouse, or you can use the plus or minus symbols in the upper left-hand corner. If at any point you want to go back to the original extent, you can press this home button. Another great feature is the circle button. If you're in the city of Chicago, you can press this and it'll take you directly to your location. Another feature that the dashboard has is the ability to find a place or address. I'm going to type in Enterprise Community Partners office in the city of Chicago, which is 230 West Monroe. As you see, when I start typing, it automatically starts populating what addresses might fit. The address I'm looking for is the first choice. I can go ahead and click that. The point pops up on the map and provides a pop-up that gives me the address, the full address of the location. Now I can hit this home button, nifty home button, that takes me back to the original extent, and I can see where that point lies within the entirety of the city. I can close this pop-up and keep that point on the map if I choose. But also, if I want to delete the point and start over, I just press this clear search X and it deletes the address and in turn deletes the point from the map. Very useful feature if you're looking for how the neighborhood conditions, housing affordability, or any of these data layers interact with what location that you're looking for. Another feature that we have is an About button. This About button has some literature written about the map and our reasoning behind housing affordability, housing stability, housing quality, and neighborhood conditions. So definitely check that out if you want to learn more. The button directly next to the About button is the Add Data tab. One of my favorite features, because you can add your own data to the layer that you're looking at. Or you can use ArcGIS Online's data list, which is also very useful. So we can just type in Chicago and see what ArcGIS Online has available for the city of Chicago. And scroll down to see all the available data layers that you can add here to this map. Just please note that if you add them, you press this Add button. However, I would press Details first. You always want to know the source, when it was last updated, what year the data is for, and who is taking care of it. So this Details button will tell you information about the data that you're adding to your layer. so you know a little bit more about what you're looking at. You can go ahead and add any of these layers that you choose. However, they cannot be saved to the map. You can add them and you can look at them, but you cannot save them. You can also use a URL, a website that has what would usually be either a zipped file or some kind of file. There's some sample URLs here you can take a look at if you have some questions. Or you can add your own file, your own shapefile, your own CSV, KML, or GeoJSON. You can browse your local directory on your computer and add those data layers here. This is a very, very useful function for you to be able to, perhaps you have a list of housing addresses that you want to see how they relate in the city based on some of these variables that we have available. It allows you to personalize and customize the information that you're taking from the map. The next button over is the share button. This provides a link that you can share via social media or personal email, or there's also an embed code which you can add to a website. So those are really useful functions for you to be able to share the information that you are hopefully taking from this map. There's also a base map gallery, which you can change the base map, which allows you to kind of see, for me, I would see kind of understanding what streets. I think that would be important. Terrain and oceans, obviously less important, but streets I think could be useful. So if I click the streets base map, I can look at where the highways are and kind of see where these community areas fall within the different major streets and major highways in Chicago, which sometimes play a huge part in the way communities relate to one another. If you have a giant freeway going across your community area, sometimes it's harder to interact. So if you look over to your far right hand area of the dashboard, you see this data layers box with multiple titles and layers within those titles. I can turn off Chicago community areas by clicking the checkbox. As you see, the check mark goes away, and so does the layer. If you want to get a closer look at some of these streets, we can definitely get closer in. Maybe I want to type in 230 West Monroe again and see the areas that surround it, perhaps. Maybe you want to type that, turn this right back on and see what community area that it belongs to. So there are quite a few things that you could do. Now, I'm going to take this point off the map. I'm going to turn my community area back off. I'm going to go to the home screen. I'm going to turn my base map right back to the light gray canvas. Now there's no data layers on at this point, but let's take a look at some of the data that's available. We have COVID cases per 1,000. The COVID data is only available by zip code, whereas the rest of the data is presented for community areas. Keep this in mind as you explore the data, as zip code and community area boundaries do not align exactly. However, it is very much useful. If you click on one of the dots, you can see more information of the data. Total cases per 1,000 population, total tested, and you can see when it was last updated. The COVID cases are updated daily. So as you can see, I'm making this video on 10/5. And this is for zip code 60639. There's a little side arrow at the top of the pop-up box. This will let you scroll through the data information if you have selected more than one data layer. If I turn on one of the data layers such as building age, and click on the community area, you can scroll through the different variables that are available and see the different pop-ups. If you click the arrow, the next box will give you, make it bigger or smaller. And add a marker, view attribute,